Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Trithan, aka The Blind Tank, and this is Dre's Corner, episode 13, lucky number 13, woohoo! I think I found my title for this episode. Real quick, I'm going to try to make this a short, something short for this week. There wasn't really a lot of news coming out of everything. This next week is going to be a lot of news come out. I'll talk about that at the end of this episode. But let's talk about the meat and potatoes of what's going on today. This last week was Legion's Q&A for Artifact and Order Halls with game designer Craig Omni, A-M-A-I, Ami, and of course Lore. They talked about a lot of different stuff. If you want to get a really good in-depth listen to it, check out Blizzard's Twitch page or also MMO Champions. I'm going to go over a couple of things that they had talked about. One of the things was quest line. Is it just going to be, is it going to be stagnant for the first after the first 3 months? Pretty much, are we going to max out our, pretty much max out our artifact within, the first 3 months or whatever it's going to take? And what Craig had said was that each patch is possibly going to have something going on with the artifact. One of the things that they're going to be doing is they're going to get into the lore of your artifact. I'll give you an example. Dre's Fury weapons. They're not known in the lore. That you don't have a clue who's had them before, who made them, anything like that. But there's quests as you level up your order hall and open up different things. There'll be quests to open that up, which I think is pretty cool. For those of you who are lore nuts like me, it'll be a really cool thing. If you're not really into the lore, hey, you get a quest, get some gold, have this book that goes and says about your weapon, and you can sell it or whatever you want to do with it. One of the other things that they had talked about with patches on your quest, on your artifact weapon, is that it is going to be an ongoing thing about updating. One patch may have an update with it, another patch may not have an update of it. He did go and say that there are going to be hidden appearances in the world, in raids, in 5-mans, in mythics, all that different stuff. Say, I'm going to give you an example because they did give this example. I'm going to give you my example of it though. Say Dre goes and he's in a raid with his guild, and I'm going in and I'm kicking butt, and all of a sudden I go and loot the boss, and I get an appearance, a hidden appearance that Dre can use for his swords. However, I haven't gone and unlocked that part of the quest. Now, one of the things that they had said is, yes, you have it. However, until you unlock what needs to be unlocked, it'll be there, but it'll be there when you have unlocked it and you're finished with what needs to be done. Now, since I'm talking about appearances and stuff like that, let's talk about something else that came at the forefront of this discussion. Is one, what happens at the end of Legion? We're going into the next expansion. We have this artifact. It's freaking awesome. Then here comes the next expansion, and we're going back to the old weapon system. You know, we've got these weird looking axes and this and that. Are we going to be keeping their artifact and growing them, or, you know, what are they going to be doing? Because, you know, we've got these great artifacts, and now we got to go back to the crappy ones, the crappy looking ones. You know, what are you guys going to do? Craig went and answered this question. He was like, this was one of them that I've been waiting to talk about. If they haven't decided completely on what they're going to be doing with the artifact weapon, if they're going to be going on in the next expansion or next expansions. However, what they have gone and what he has gone and said, what they've discussed, and how they're going to proceed on it, as they're thinking, if they're not going to use the artifact after this expansion, everything that you have unlocked, you will be able to go and put that skin on the new weapons. So we won't lose anything. We'll lose the artifact power, but we won't lose the looks that we've busted our butts for 2 years, or however long Legion is going to last. So that's a really cool thing. The weapons and the future is something that they are seriously thinking about, and they're seriously talking about. So it's in the the back of their mind of what's going to be going on. Now, here's something else that they also wanted to talk about too. Is we heard last week and a couple of weeks before is Blizzard is doing a lot of tuning with knobs of, you know, this class isn't doing real well, so let's tune it here, here, and here. Are they going to be doing the same thing with the artifact? It's built in, but they don't want to do that. They don't want to nerf the artifact, so what they'll do is they'll bring down, you know, the class power, so it doesn't really mess up what is going on with the artifact and what we've built. Because, and this is the thing, they will not be doing any type of refund on your weapon. And if you want to go and say, well, I need to go and respec this weapon, it will cost you a lot of money, and you will not get back all of your artifact power. What Craig had gone and said is, if you think you've messed up, keep going. Because by the time that you're completely done with your artifact weapon, you'll have everything unlocked anyway. So if you went down the wrong path, go to where fix where you want to go. And then later on, you know, it will fix itself. So to me, that's cool. And the reason why this got brought up was in different situations, in different expansions, all of a sudden we had, one class that was just being outrageous with, the output that they were putting out. However, I'll give you a prime example. We had, I forget what class it was in Mist of Pandaria, just wrecking face on everything that they were doing. However, one of the biggest controversies that was going on in Mist of Pandaria was the rogues. Rogues were getting crapped on. They basically couldn't get out of their own way. Blizzard went and did a knee jerk to try to, fix rogues, which made it worse. And they admitted it. They saw the numbers of the dropping off of the rogues, and they were like, okay, we're going to need to fix this. And they tried to fix it, and they actually made it worse. They fixed it later on, when with the final stuff. However, they don't want to do that again. They don't want to do any type of knee jerk or, oh my God, we need to really fix this overpoweredness or a class that isn't doing really well. So what they're going to do is they're going to leave the artifact alone, but buff or debuff the classes of where they need to be, buffed and stuff like that. Those we are not going to have to wait for a major patch to get fixed. They see the problem, they're going to fix it through quick fixes. They'll have it done, download it, and it's like, bing, things are fixed. Now, I didn't talk about this, and I want to talk a little bit more about it, is the artifact respecking. They're trying to make sure, they want to make sure that people know this. They really do not want you respecting, your weapon. It's going to cost a lot of gold, and it's only going to refund 3/4 of your artifact power. So that's to me that's one of those things of, okay, I've royally screwed up. Do I do this, or do I do what this developer had said? Bite the bullet, guys. If we've made a mistake on what we've done, bite the bullet. Sometimes we do, in real life, we make mistakes. We try to figure out how to undo that mistake. With our artifact weapon, it's basically we're just going to have to put more time into it and go down the path that we're trying to go down. It may take a little bit longer, but hey. The other thing that I also want to talk about with this is not really with respecting, but with the artifact, is what I'm also understanding is Icy Veins is going to be really getting into the number crunching and things like that. If you use Ask Mr. Robot, if you do, use that. But to me, I'm a person, I use Ask Mr. Robot to get a feel of where I'm supposed to be going. However, I use Icy Veins if I want to really get down into the bones of my spec. And there's a lot of reading sometimes. There's a lot of, you've got to figure different stuff out. Sometimes it's like, reading directions to Chinese directions that don't have English in it. No disrespect to anybody, but sometimes it's a pain in the butt. One of the greatest things about my guild that I'm in is I have a guild master that I can go and say, hey, I really don't understand this. Can you explain this, this? And my guild master is like, okay, you need to do this, you need to do this, and you need to do this. Okay, no problem. And she always is waiting for my next question. Again, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, do some of your own research on it. Also on your talents. A lot of the different things are going to be that are coming up with our the changes to a lot of the classes. A lot of classes got revamped. I mean, completely. The hunters completely revamped. Some parts of the rogue completely revamped. The outlaw that used to be combat for rogue, again, completely reworked. So once the pre-patch hits, get into the bare bones of your class. Find different stuff out, like Icy Veins. Talk to people who are real good at the spec that you play. Bounce questions off of them. Bounce if you know somebody if your guild is separated in ranks of class leaders. Ask your class leader about it. Say, hey, this is what I'm having problems with. Now, one of the things that I do want to emphasize in is with the specs, you have, and I hate saying this, but it has been said, and we're going to talk about this a little bit later. You have your casual spec, which it's really good. I mean, I've looked at it and I've run with Nam with this. We've both done really well. I've tested different stuff out with her when we're running Fury at the same time, and oh god, it's fun seeing all that stuff of us running together. Sorry, squirrel. But like I said, a lot of the different stuff that is coming out is going to be new to a lot of people. You have your casual setup. You have your medium setup. Somebody who wants to really get into it, but really doesn't want to spend a lot of time with it, but really wants to get into the bare bones of their spec. And then there's the spec of you want to get as much DPS and as much power out of that spec as you can. I mean the elites, and that's who I'm talking about. Those guys, they probably already know what's what, how's this, and different types of stuff. So that'll be coming out soon. So if you haven't found it yet on YouTube or on whatever website that you go to, it'll be coming out soon. Mark my words on it. I already know that the number crunchers are already out there, busting butt and already, giving explanations of why you want to do the different things that you want to do. The other thing is I want to talk about is, again, I'm going to talk about what I wanted to talk about a little bit later. I want to get this artifact stuff done first. Artifact knowledge. We have artifact power, which goes completely into our new artifact weapon. And then there's artifact power, artifact knowledge. When we're able to open up that quest line will take 7 days to research. Once it's there, we'll have X amount of knowledge that'll be opened up for one or two things: your main weapon or a catch-up for your secondary specs. So if my my guild needs me as a tank, I have my shield and everything is ready to go. Now, one of the things I do want to say about this, ladies and gentlemen, your main spec is going to have your 100% of your power automatically on it. Your second spec is about 80 to 85% of the power that your first one has. So it's always going to be behind. And if you want to be crazy and get that third weapon, just think 30% behind your main spec, or even farther. Now, the other thing is okay, Dre, you're talking about, the weapons, but I've got a whole bunch of alts. How is this going to go into what I'm, with my alts? That artifact power is going to be personal. Okay, it's not going to be account wide or server wide. It's going to be for you. So say I'm working on Dre, I've busted butt, my guild is already done with all the different stuff that we're doing for 7.0. We're waiting for 7.1. We're still doing all the the different stuff, but I am getting bored. I want to play my priest. Okay, now say that's going on. I've not touched my other alts in 2 months. Okay, there is a catch up going on with this artifact knowledge to catch you up. It will start out the first week. It will start out the first couple of weeks. It will start out with the research for artifact knowledge is going to be 7 days. A couple of weeks after that, it goes to 6. Then it goes to 5, and so on and so on, until you get up to the power that everybody else is, or for their main weapon. And once you get to that part, then you're like everybody else. This to me is really cool, especially with those of us that have alts that want to, work on our alts because they feed our main character. Like with Dre, my priest, feeds him all his potions and flasks. My warlock goes and feeds Dre all his enchants. I've got a shaman that feeds Dre all his jewelry, all that type of stuff. So we've got a lot of different stuff that we're going to be working on, and we're going to need help with, to get that different stuff going on. Everything that has gone on with the questions and answers that have been going on in the last couple of months here have been really good. They've been Blizzard has been very transparent on everything that they've been doing, and I, for one, ladies and gentlemen, really think that they've done a really good job in it. I think this expansion is going to outweigh a lot of the expansions that we've had, including Warlords of Draenor, Mist of Pandaria. I think it's going to, make them, they're going to put them in the dirt, and we're going to see a lot more of an influx of people coming back because there's so many people having so much fun in this. Now, this brings me up to my next topic discussion. One of the things that have been going on, and you guys, and let me say this, you guys have known me to go and say, if you want to know more information on this, or on this, go to these guys, because they have a really good understanding, or, these are the guys that I go to for information. Now, let me explain to you guys why I do this. When I got into alpha and when I got into beta, I had said to you guys in the beginning, I am not going to do spoilers. A friend of mine was like, man, you're into this. Why have you not done, any streams on this? The reason why, ladies and gentlemen, is because of that promise that I made was no spoilers. You can't really, get around, do the quest, and not get into spoilers. There's so much going on. We already know it's been leaked. We've already known, and if you haven't known, go la la la. And when I say this, we already know that Varian is dead at the beginning or pre-patch of this expansion. Some people do not know that the troll is dead as well.
Sylvanas is the Horde leader. Anduin is the Alliance leader. And I won't go any further past that. There's also spoilers going on with the pre-patch. That's the only thing that I'm going to tell you guys about. And then I couldn't find a way to do some of this content without giving you guys spoilers. So this is one of the reasons why I went and said, watch, Baullar Gaming, Preach Gaming. I have another good one for you guys to check out. It's called Hist, H-I-S-T on YouTube. She's a really informative, really well balanced. I've listened to a lot of different stuff that she has done. Really great voice. Oh, really great voice. Sorry if that sounded creepy, but really great voice. And these three people have something in common. They are balanced in, the pros, the cons, what's going on, what is happening, what their opinion is about what is going on. And to me, that is what I want. If you guys remember in Warlords of Draenor, people were trashing it. People are trashing it that are testing it now. And it's like, why the frack are you listening to it? And it's like, do you people not understand that this is beta and alpha? I mean, really? And this is all they've been doing, is whining and complaining about what they like, what they don't like. And I'm not going to mention any names. I almost did about a month ago on one of the streamers / YouTubers. But I decided against it. And the reason is because I want to keep it professional. I think of Baullar Gaming, Preach Gaming, and Lady Hist. I think that they're professional. They have the same type of idea that I do. Give you the information that we want to give it to you fairly, balanced. Give you the pros, give you the cons, give you exactly what we see in it, and let you make an informed decision. Because I don't know about you ladies and gentlemen, I am sick and tired of these whining, complaining people that are like, why in the hell are you playing this damn game? If you hate it so much, why are you doing this? I don't know about you all, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to clean up this community. These whining, crying babies need to go the freak away. And the only way that we'll be able to do this is to talk louder, even if we have to scream at the top of our lungs, at the top of the highest buildings, to drown these people out. This is what we need to do. Legion, in my opinion, I really think that Legion is going to be the best expansion since Wrath of the Lich King. And now I liked Cataclysm. It had a really good storyline and a lot of different parts. But the reason why I like Cataclysm is because that's when I really started tanking and really started enjoying this game. But Wrath was one of my favorite out of all of the expansions. And I really think that Legion is going to do that for us, is because Blizzard is gone and set out and said, okay, we're going to make sure that everybody, that their different play styles that they want to play, they're going to be able to do it. So those of you who want to do nothing more than PvP all the time, guess what? You can do it. You'll get gear from the boxes when you're doing the casual PvP. You'll get gear and different stuff from the boxes when you're doing rated PvP. If you are a casual person that says, I want to do professions. I want to do, pet taming. I want to do this, maybe a little bit of raids, some 5-mans. You can do it. If you are an elite raider, and I'm not talking about an elitist asshole, I'm talking about an elite raider that has that are just absolutely awesome, and you guys are kicking butt in the raids, and that's what you guys want to do. You're able to do it. If you want to be a semi-hardcore raider like I am, I can do that. If you want to go and say, like, again, something that I'm going to be doing in Legion, if you want to do PvP and raiding, guess what? You can. You will have enough time not only to do the PvE stuff, but you'll be able to do the PvE stuff and get, everything that you want out of this expansion. I've been talking and preaching this for the last couple of months, since I really started back in doing Dre's Corner, and I really feel that this is going to be one of those expansions that our friends are going to come back. People are going to really enjoy it. The people that are constantly bitching and complaining, guess what? They're always going to be bitching and complaining, but you know why we're not going to hear them? Because there's too many people having too much fun. And I really think that's what's going to be happening. But don't take my opinion on it, ladies and gentlemen. Take what I've given you. Wait for Legion to come out, and don't go ballistic first couple of days when the servers are getting hit because of BS assholes out there. Give it a couple of weeks. Let the glitches slow down, and then play. And like I said, ladies and gentlemen, I really think that this is going to be one of those greatest things. And I hope you guys think the same way. Read up. Check out the different people that I'm constantly giving accolades to. See what you think about them. If you've heard somebody do, listen to what they're saying, and then listen to what Preach has to say. Listen to these people that are doing whiny, crying BS, and then listen to Baullar. Listen to the same thing, and listen to I call it a Lady Hist, but Hist. Listen to these people. Make your own decision, and that's basically the only thing that I want you guys to do is make your own decision. I really think that you'll enjoy it. But again, that's my opinion. I want to go really quick before I end this episode. Want to do a huge shout out to all my my guild mates on Scarlet Crusade and Divine Brilliance. We are having a recruiting drive. So if you're hearing right now and you're like, I need a guild, I need somewhere that's serious, or I need a guild that's laid back with a sprinkle of seriousness, Divine Brilliance is this place for you. We're on Scarlet Crusade. We're having a drive from now until the 29th of this month, July. Come check us out. If you like us, bring your characters over. I really think that you'll enjoy it. We have a lot of fun, in the 5-mans and the raids. However, we have fun, but we're serious. There's some shenanigans goes on. However, when our raid lead, Miss Lyra, goes and says, enough, we start getting things done. So, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking for a guild, if you're looking for a home that is, a lot of fun, sometimes serious, this is a place for you to be. Again, I want to say thank you very much for everybody listening. I hope this gave you some good information. I will see you next week for the next Q&A that is going to be coming out of Blizzard. I forget exactly what the name is that's going to be, but that'll be on Thursday. I'll probably have that up and running probably about the same time as now. But also next week, not only will I be having Blizzard news come out, but I will also be having Star Wars come out, because we have Star Wars Celebration this coming up week. So again, thank you all very much for tuning in. I hope you all had a great time listening to me. I had a great time giving you guys all this information. And if I got a little bit passionate about the middle stuff, hey, that's me. I'm just a passionate person, and I just want everybody to have a good time. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, from me to you, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I had a great time. Emmy, cue up the music, sweetheart. We're out of here. Episode 13 is done. Hit the music, and let's go have some fun.